Welcome to Increasing Confidence in Your Supply Chain. Changes at the IAF, including the IAF database of accredited certification. I'm Sharonda Jeffries. I'm the IAF Director for Users and Industry. I'm also the IAF User Advisory Committee Chair. Last year, you heard from me. I presented on what is the IAF and why should I care about their database of accredited certification. Well, this year, I'll provide a brief review of what's happening at the IAF, along with an update on the status of the IAF database. Now, most folks, they've heard of ISO. However, ISO does not perform certification. Organizations that are seeking certification to an ISO standard like ISO 9001 or ISO 13485 must contact an independent certification body. Now, ISO does publish the ISO survey, and that counts the number of certificates issued by certification bodies that have been accredited by members of the International Accreditation Forum, or the IAF. So again, you're wondering, what is the IAF? Well, the IAF is a global association of accreditation bodies, regional accreditation groups, certification body associations, industry associations, and stakeholder associations, along with scheme owners like automotive and aerospace, working together to provide accredited certification of management systems, products, processes, services, and personnel. Now, how does this really work? Well, let's talk about the hierarchy of accredited certification. It typically starts with an entity such as a customer or a consumer or even an industry like automotive or aerospace or information and communication technology. Sometimes it's even the government. And they'll say, I need to see a certificate. Can you show me, for example, an ISO 9001 certificate? The organization will say, hey, I've got to go grab this certificate. And so in order for me to get the certificate, the organization, they will work with a certification body. The certification body organization, typically you want an organization that's accredited by an accreditation body. Now, we'll talk about accreditation in just a moment. CBs may be members of associations, and there are association organizations like the IIOC, IQNet, and IAAR. Now, the certification body, they're going to offer certification to the organization. So they audit the organization. But now you're wondering, well, who's auditing the CB? Well, the certification body, they are audited by the accreditation body. And the terminology that we use is they're assessed by the accreditation body. Now, the accreditation body, that's the organization that's recognized by the IAF. They are actually a signatory of the MLA. I'll talk about the MLA in just a moment. But that accreditation body, they accredit the certification body, or the CB. Where does the IAF come in? Well, the IAF, they provide oversight and governance, especially as it relates to the MLA, or the Multilateral Recognition Agreement. Let's talk about what the IAF's objectives are. Well, the objectives of the IAF are to develop and maintain a multilateral recognition arrangement, or an MLA. Now, that MLA, that multilateral recognition arrangement, that's among the accreditation body members, the AB members. Now, the IAF also acts as a forum to facilitate global trade, to develop harmonization of certification best practices, and to promote accredited certification. What the IAF really does, though, is it really supports the idea of certified once, accepted everywhere. So when that consumer organization, when that customer, when they ask you for a certificate, they want to have confidence in that certificate, that the certificate that's issued by one accreditation body's CB is equivalent with regard to its quality status to another accreditation body, CB. That's their main focus. So now, considering that, you're wondering, hey, what's the IAF been up to lately, Sharonda? You said you're going to talk to us about what they've been up to lately. Well, one of the things that the IAF has been up to lately, and I use that term generally, they've been focused on reducing non-accredited certification. Now, the things that I'm going to talk to you about right now, these are all in the IAF's searchable resolutions log. And these are the things that we've been doing with regard to reducing the number of non-accredited certifications. A couple of the things that we've been doing. Well, back in 2015, along with 2016, there were some resolutions that were passed. IAF Resolution 2015-14 and IAF Resolution 2016-17. And both of those resolutions address non-accredited management system certification where the CB is accredited for the same scope. And you'll see the text there as it relates to that. And so what the IAF did with those resolutions is they said, we're going to look at how we address reducing non-accredited management system certifications. We want to make sure that we promote accredited management system certification, especially where the CB, the certification body, is accredited within that scope. Well, in 2016, there was another resolution that was passed. And the resolution that was passed in 2016 was Resolution 2016-17, and that's for non-accredited personnel certification. And so that resolution is similar to the resolution that we talked about for management system certification, but this one was specific for personnel certification. And then in 2018, there was an additional resolution, and that resolution was 2018-13, and that resolution pertained to non-accredited product certification. We're not done yet, folks, because remember, our goal is to promote accredited certification. And so with that in mind, we're trying to reduce the number of non-accredited certifications. So there are a lot of organizations that are claiming, hey, I'm ISO 9001 certified. I'm ISO 9001 certified. Here's my certificate. But how do you tell? How do you tell if a certificate is from an accredited certification body? In order to determine that a certificate is from an accredited certification body, well, accredited certification bodies, they're going to comply with ISO CASCO standards, like ISO 17021-1. That standard was last revised in 2015, and that specifies what's required to be on those certificates. Now, some of the things that's required to be on those certificates, the company's name and location, the management system standard. Hey, is it ISO 9001? Is it ISO 13485? The scope of the certification, or better yet, the boundary of the certification, the date the certification was issued along with the expiration date or the recertification date, and then we need the name, the address, and yes, the certification mark of the CB. Now, sometimes accredited certification bodies, they'll include not only their certification mark, but the symbol for the AD as well. Now, that's not required. That's not mandatory, but a lot of the CBs will do that. Information can also be provided upon request to verify the validity of certificates issued by the CB. When it comes to accredited certification bodies, they're going to comply with rules like the rules that we recently had as it relates to ISO 9001 transition. Certificates from accredited certification bodies are now required to have those accreditation symbols that we were talking about. And so you'll be able to see that that CB is indeed an accredited CB. To make it a little bit easier, some certification bodies, they maintain public databases, and they provide an alternate method to quickly evaluate a company's certification status, recognizing that oftentimes supply chain decisions, they're made very quickly. Now, some accreditation bodies like Accredited from Italy CNAS from China and JAB from Japan, along with JAZANS from Australia, they'll maintain publicly accessible databases. And those publicly accessible databases, they make checking certificates easy and a lot more efficient. But you know what's interesting? There's never been a single source of truth. Never been a single source. With that said, introducing the IAF Search Database. The IAF Search Database. This database is intended to serve as a global register where users can search and validate the status of accredited certification. That's accredited certification issued by a CB, which has been accredited by an AB, who's a member of the IAF and under the MLA. Now, that's a lot of acronyms, so let me go back and explain these acronyms for you once again. The IAF Search Database is a global register where users can search and validate the status of accredited certification issued by a certification body, or a CB, that's been accredited by an accreditation body, or an AB, who's a member of the IAF and also included under that multilateral recognition arrangement, or our MLA. Now, this database, it's been a long time coming. We started talking about this database in 2012, and you'll see that my slide shows 2017, where there's work that's been going on since then, but I want to highlight what's happened to 2017 just on this slide. So when we talk about the IAF database, it actually started out as an ISO database. In 2012, ISO said, hey, let's create a database. So the project was initiated. And the project was initiated, but what happened was ISO ultimately recognized that this really wasn't a good fit for them. And so the project was abandoned. In 2014, the IAF picked up the project. And the IAF database was proposed in October 2014. A database management committee, or DMC task force, was formed in 2015, and that's March of 2015. The principles for the database were approved in December 2015, and they've since been revised. I'll share those with you in just a moment. And the initial business case was approved by the IAF members in November 2016. In 2017, the IAF agreed to proceed with the database and formed an LLC to manage the database. That LLC then selected a provider, and work continues as it relates to the database. I'll talk about the continuing work in just a moment, but let's look first at the database principles. There are a number of database principles. There are a total of 14 database principles. And the database principles, they were revised in May of this year, May of 2019. Now, there are a lot of database principles in this presentation. I'm going to talk about 3 principles specifically. I'm going to talk about principle number 9, number 12, and number 14. Let's start with principle number 9. Principle number 9, that principle talks about governance. And that's where the IAF, they agreed as members to establish governance and operational structure that includes the IAF AB, CB, and user members. And that's not dependent on the IAF Secretariat. The IAF has established a limited liability company, or an LLC, to operate the IAF database. And that LLC is the legal entity, legally and financially responsible for the database. The personnel operating the LLC are appointed by and report to the IAF board. Let's now move to principle number 12. So we're going to jump to principle number 12, and that's when we talk about data. Data is to be limited to information necessary to confirm that an accredited certification has been issued. And this is by a CB accredited by an IAF MLA signatory accreditation body. So we're talking about those IAF MLA AB signatories. And this is in compliance with ISO 17021-1. Now, data is to be limited to confirming the current status as it relates to the certification. We're talking the name, the standard, the scope of certification, and the geographical location, recognizing that we have some companies that are multinational global organizations. Now, this complies with the requirements specifically in Clause 8.2 of ISO 17021-1. And we know that the latest version of that is the 2015 version. Let's jump from principle number 12 to principle number 14. Principle number 14, we're talking about security here. The IAF database will need to have controls necessary to prevent or limit unauthorized data mining. Now, we don't want competitive poaching going on by our accredited certification bodies. And we want to have some other security measures to make sure that we ensure data integrity and we protect against unauthorized access to and use of the data. Now, some of the things that we've proposed and some of the things that we are implementing with regard to this data, as far as making sure that security is maintained, is we're limiting the number of certificates that can be validated per day to no more than 5. Up to 20 validations can be done per sign-in, but no more, maximum of 5 certificates validated per day by a single user. And that's up to 20 validations per day per sign-in. And that's per sign-in by the organization. IP tracking happens, and we're looking for if there's valid or invalid data only. We're not showing expiration date. So we're allowing you to check, is this certificate valid or is this certificate invalid? So why are we doing this database? Well, the benefits of the IAF database, we want to reduce counterfeit certificates. We want to increase accuracy and efficiency. We want to make this real-time with regard to your ability to verify the validity of an accredited certificate. We want to increase the credibility of accredited certification and also increase the market opportunity for certified companies. We all know that time is money, and so with that said, we're obviously going to be reducing costs. The database has a lot of users and industry support. ISO TC 176 has expressed their support. They've actually issued a resolution to convey to the IAF its strong support for the development of a directory of accredited certifications, the ISO 9001 specifically, because that's the standard that's owned by ISO TC 176. There was a survey done of the U.S. TAG members, and that's the Technical Assistance Group who provides input into ISO TC 176, and 93% of the respondents to that survey, they saw value in the IAF database. Additionally, we've heard from a lot of user organizations, TIA, and that's the TIA Business Performance Community, formerly Quest Forum, they've expressed their support. The IATF, the automotive industry, they've expressed their support. The IAQG, the aerospace industry, they've expressed their support. And the Dental Trade Alliance, or DTA, they've expressed their support. So previously, we took you through the timeline up until 2017. So now you're probably wondering, hey, what's going on now, Sharonda? So what's happening now? Well, we've had a number of those user organizations provide input into a video. That video is available, and the link is shown there. Additionally, in Q1 of 2019, we hosted AB webinars, and that's where the ABs learned that templates were available to allow them to upload their CB data. And it's mandatory for the ABs to upload their CB data. In Q2, Q3 2019, coming up very, very soon, CB webinars will be held. That's where CBs will learn how to activate their account and upload their certification data. CBs will also inform their clients. We'll have an IAF Search certified entity, that's for the organizations, brochure available. And then in late 2019, hopefully sooner than that, there'll be a public announcement that the IAF Search database is available. The website's down there. So again, what's happening? Well, soon you will be able to validate certification. So if your organization is certified to a management system standard, or if you rely on accredited management system certification in your supply chain, then I highly encourage you to learn more about IAF Search. The IAF Search Certified Global Entity Brochure, that'll be available soon. And again, you will be able to check and validate certification soon. With that said, folks, thank you so much for listening. Again, my name is Sharonda Jeffries. I'm the IAF Director representing users and industries and the IAF User Advisory Committee Chair. Thanks so much.